Let's get into Disclosure Day, baby.
Sure.
We've got a new Steven Spielberg movie in theaters. Mm-hmm. And we're going to review
Aliens yet again.
We're going to review it on this podcast. You ready?
We'll do spoiler free first.
We'll do spoiler free first. Here is our scores for Disclosure Day out of 10. 3, 2, 1, 5 out of 10.
Yeah, high 8. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You and I are not simpatico here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I think it's very split.
Very mixed.
Very
Correct.
split. Because I think I was doing my Letterboxd and I felt like it was, most of it was 4 out of 5. Like there were a lot of 8s out of 10s, but it was like trending right around like the 3 point something.
Sure.
So it's not a very clear, like, people love it or hate it. I think a lot of people are mixed on it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you a 5?
I loved it for like the first 30 minutes. And then there was a sequence that I won't spoil in the movie that I think is probably both of our favorite scene in the movie. It's really, really exciting. And then immediately after that, they make a choice in this movie that I'm like, oh, that was weird. I was like, that scene kind of came out of nowhere and I didn't like that scene, but that's fine. You know, I've enjoyed the movie so far. And then the very next scene I didn't like, and then the very next scene I didn't like, and I just found the rest of the movie dull and uninteresting and boring, and I disagreed with every choice after.
Yeah, so interesting. For me, Disclosure Day, like every section of the movie had something different that I enjoyed, right? So the first 30 minutes, we're probably going to talk about the same thing, which is just Wyatt and Emily and their you didn't like that?
I loved that.
Okay, so
that was fun.
That was super entertaining for the first little bit, and you're starting to get a little bit of the mystery.
And I liked the mystery at the start.
Well,
like I was interested.
Well, I really liked the mystery in the probably the second third. So the first third had that was really entertaining. The second third had even more of the alien stuff because you kind of see it starting to affect certain people and certain characters and abilities or whatever starting to happen. And then in the second third, you're really starting to get like this and some other things that like are really like there's not fully explaining yet, but they're really interesting, and you get the train scene and stuff like that. So that really interested me in the second third, and then in the finals you kind of get how it's getting all revealed finally, the footage that we see, the news stuff that happens, and all of that really interested me. So I feel like there were like different segments of the movie, and each one had something that I was like really entertained by, for me personally.
Okay. Can we talk spoilers now?
Sure.
All right, so spoiler warning for Disclosure
Well, we should have done
Day.
that right before I said that, because then I could actually talk about what the frick I was trying to like not spoil.
Well, yeah, but what else do we have to say?
No.
I feel like I can't get into any of my points without spoiling it.
In Disclosure Day, Emily Blunt's amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
I always love Emily Blunt. She's probably one of my favorite working actresses, and a lot of people are calling this one of her best performances.
I agree with that.
I haven't seen everything she's been in,
Nope.
but like there are some scenes in this she carries. I think her character is the one that you are most interested in throughout, because of her relationship with Wyatt, and then also what she's going through, but then also just her acting and the way that she delivers on the character. Yeah, Emily Blunt's amazing in this movie.
She was amazing. I also didn't know that Wyatt Russell was in the movie.
Me neither.
So when he showed up, I was like, let's fucking go. And then he's in the movie a bunch, and I was like, let's fucking go, because I love him. Shout out Josh O'Connor. I also think Josh O'Connor is very good in this. That is my, handsomer, much more successful me.
Yeah.
I get compared to him a lot, which I take as a tremendous compliment. Coleman Domingo's fucking amazing as always.
I mean, they're all great. I think, you said that you kind of didn't like it because you just didn't like some of the decisions, and you just didn't like the scenes after the first 30 minutes. I was just kind of engaged the whole time. I was entertained the whole time. I thought the mysteries that they were keeping, like every scene with Coleman Domingo where he and his team is doing something and you don't really know why the whole time. It felt like the magic of movies to me when I was sitting there watching that on the big IMAX screen. Aliens, mystery, you got the train scene, you got these kind of like, you got different characters and powers and things. It just felt very grandiose. And Jenks, I wanted to read Jenks's Letterboxd, because he didn't give it any higher than me. I think he gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, which a lot of people were giving it. But he said, something special about a movie that looks good, sounds good, is well acted, and makes me feel happy to be a human by the end of it. That's how I felt. I thought it sounded great. I thought Spielberg knows how to shoot a movie.
Absolutely.
It looks so good. There are so many shots where I was like, oh, this movie's magical. And that's how it made me feel.
The biggest positive by far for me with Disclosure Day, by far. is not only like the cinematography, because Disclosure Day consistently looks really good, except for some CGI that we will talk about in spoilers, but the biggest thing for me, by far, the biggest positive, is that this movie, for the first time in a movie I've seen this year, maybe since the existence of the podcast, is a new movie in theaters right now that has blocking.
Okay.
Movies aren't blocked anymore. Every movie that you go see nowadays, whether it's a really new and fresh, interesting horror movie like Backrooms, it's still, I'm talking, so the camera's on me. Andrew's talking, the camera's on Andrew. There are never scenes.
Very bland one shot or two shots.
It's just a cut back and forth. There's nothing like it. In one of the opening scenes with the evil villain corporation of Disclosure Day is a one shot of Colin Firth's character, who's great in this movie. Colin Firth's character walking into this building. It's a one shot. It follows him, and then he assembles a team of people, and he's talking to them, explaining what needs to be happening. There's a screen behind him that's explaining what's happening, and the camera is going behind the heads of his employees he's talking to. So it's like blocking it like you're one of those people, but it keeps going. And so the heads are blocking the shot every once in a while. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the guy that did Jaws. You know what I'm saying? Like where you get the scene in the boat where Quint is talking about the USS Indianapolis. Like, that's a shot where it's not just cutting. You only do a close-up when it's a really serious line that the character has. I don't see that in movies nowadays.
Yeah.
Even with
I felt that throughout. It just seemed like a movie that was cared for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, spoilers.
Yeah, we're going to get into spoilers for Disclosure Day. Here we go.
Hit it.
I think everything, the train sequence and before, is awesome. And I was like, okay, this is my favorite movie of the year. Like, I was like really, really enjoying it. Now we get to the train sequence. Emily Blunt has her panic attack, and they stop her panic attack with the piano. And I was like, that's weird. I don't really get what that has any significance to do with anything or anything like that. But I was like, all right, that's fine. Like, we'll move on, whatever. And genuinely, I think every scene after that, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse for me. I don't care for the aliens being the CGI animals that look pretty bad. I think the deer looks pretty bad. Being the CGI animals, and then they're experimenting on the kids. Like, I didn't care for the backstory at all. Why are they building the house to re-jog her memory? I didn't care for that. How does that re-jog? Like, don't care for that. And a big problem with the second half of the movie that I have is that it makes the first half of the movie worse for me. Give you a great example.
Okay.
The magic wands. What do they do? I don't know. It seems that they do whatever the plot needs them to do.
Sure.
Can they make them invisible? I guess so. Can they be used for Colin Firth to communicate with Eve Hewson's character? Sure. But he can't do that every time because he's sick. Why can't somebody else do it? I don't know. The magic wands, like when he's threatening them at the start, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a nuke or something, because he's like, nobody shoot him. If he goes down, it's gonna set it off. It's gonna blow up this block. But they're never used as like a weapon. I get that they're all powerful, but like it's too much of a plot device. Oh, now it turns all the lights back on after it's just. So one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the opening, because it shows Josh O'Connor. He's like in command. I love Colin Firth turning to his like lieutenant guy, where he's like, this guy sits at a desk for a living and you let him beat you? What the fuck? Like, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, Josh O'Connor's this genius. He's got the nuke in his hand. He doesn't care if it kills everybody as long as the bad guys don't win. But that's never like explained. Like what? I don't like that this is a magic thing that can do anything. And then the end of it, I don't care for Emily Blunt's power to just be somebody you love. And that's what?
Sure.
How does, like, when they get out of there?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you this.
How is Colin Firth? He no longer sees his wife. Why the fuck doesn't he pull out a gun and shoot them?
Also, unless it's some sort of mind control, you see your wife be like, you're not my wife. Arrest her.
But as soon as they walk away, she's not still their wife.
Yeah.
And why
is everyone getting out of the way?
The lieutenant guy.
I didn't like that scene.
The lieutenant guy just chases him in the car right after.
Yeah.
So the lieutenant guy isn't magically erased. Why doesn't he shoot them? Even if he can't kill them, shoot them in the leg.
Yeah, I wish the escape scene there had a little bit more of a better explanation. I'll give you that for sure.
That, I was like, so it's like every single scene like that, I'm like, what is this? Like, who? I wasn't bothered too much by the scene when Josh O'Connor is behind them and he like sneaks into a car and takes the car.
Oh yeah, that I was bothered by that. Sure, I can give you that.
And then I don't buy the ending at all. That's just not how the world works. If we found out there were aliens and we had concrete proof there were aliens, the world would not stop. If we were on the verge of World War III, it wouldn't stop. I would like to think that that's what would happen, but I don't think that that would happen at all. I don't buy it that this news channel in Kansas that's now running their story on CNN and running their story now everywhere in the world and the Fox News or whatever the fuck, I don't buy that being this kumbaya moment or anything like
How
that.
was it a kumbaya moment?
It seems that the world stops, and I don't believe that the world would stop for any news, let alone like for that news. Our friend Brandon
Yeah.
said after the movie, he was like, "This movie is 10 years too late. If this movie
Yeah, I've
came
seen
out
people say that.
10 years ago, it would be well. First of all, like the villain in the movie, the evil country in the movie is North Korea. I haven't heard about North Korea in a billion years. You know, like in 10 years, it feels like that was an adversary of the U.S. when I was in high school, you know, or middle school. Like
More so, yeah.
So like that is a good example where I like agreed with him. But the most I agree with him is the ending. Like, yeah, 10 years ago, I think the world would have stopped for aliens. I don't think now. And yeah, I don't.
I mean,
So I think that
I think all they showed was really just people watching their phones. Like, did they show like governments calling off wars?
I think that that's how I interpreted that scene, and I believe that that's how many people interpret that scene. If you didn't interpret that scene that way, I understand that because you didn't see
Our news cycle, I agree. Our news cycle is approximately 10 seconds long. Like our attention spans, like things don't like in the modern age. We can gloss past things a lot quicker than we did 10 years ago. But I do think that if a news station was showing us concrete evidence of aliens and an alien literally got rolled into the room, I think that would be broadcast a lot of different places. And I think all of us would be like, oh my gosh, look at this. And all of us would be on our phones looking at that being like, oh my gosh, we did that for the Will Smith slap. Like, we didn't stop wars because of it, but like for like a day, that's all anyone was talking about. And I think aliens could at least do that. Yeah.
Sure. There was also like the theming. I do not like the half-handed theming of if you give the world aliens, they're gonna think the aliens are God. And like you have Eve Hewson's character calling the nun, asking her about that, and then you have the character that does this in front of Emily Blunt, and she's like, "I'm not your deity." Like I didn't care for how half-handed that was, and it was just like, I think the ending of the movie like relies on the audience, me, because I'm my only audience, right? So I'm the only person watching this in my head. Mm-hmm. It relies on me thinking that like that my reaction to finding out that concrete for fact aliens were real would be bigger than it is. And I don't know, not only is aliens being like a concrete fact, not only would that not change my worldview, but I don't think it would change the worldview of nearly as many people that this movie portrays it does.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the argument. I just don't. That's not a reason for me to like the movie any less to me because it was just showing people looking at their phones, looking at aliens. That would be a big deal. Like it would be a big deal. You could say like it's not as big of a deal as maybe the movie is making it seem like, but yes, that would be an unbelievably huge news story.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
that's
saying
that's
that,
all the
but it's like it's like acting like it's a bigger thing than it is, and I feel like the whole movie is building to Disclosure Day. I mean, it's the name of the song, the name of the movie. You've got Coleman Domingo. He's like, no, you cannot leak this right now. He had a very specific plan. But
yeah, the half-handed thing that you're talking about, where she's like, the girlfriend's like, you can't release this.
Yeah,
it'll.
Like, so it's like building to this like ultimate climax, but then it's like, oh, look at this alien footage. We know that aliens exist in this universe because we watched this movie. We saw the deer become the alien. Awesome shot, by the way. Best shot in the movie. is the deer eye, and then it turns and it's the alien. That was awesome. But it's like this whole movie. It's like this is a huge revelation. This would have been a much better revelation if like half the movie, 90% of the movie, you didn't know aliens were fact. Like there was a story aspect where it was like Josh O'Connor's crazy. All of this is false. Also, we don't see what the alien says. We don't know what Emily Blunt says.
Okay, I mean, I've got a couple of negatives. The ending was
Oh my gosh. So it's like, what's the climax of this movie? You're showing footage of it. We know aliens exist to these characters because we've seen it this entire movie. The alien device is like the first thing. It's the MacGuffin of the movie.
Yeah.
Is the alien device that can perform magic.
You didn't like the montage of all the news stuff? You didn't find that interesting?
I found it interesting, but that's like the climax of the movie, and I felt no crazy heightened emotion during it.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if that was like a reveal, then maybe that would have hit for me, but we know aliens exist.
Yeah, I think they... Go ahead.
Sorry. Huge complaint I forgot about. I do not think the alien torture scene is nearly as sad as it needs to be to buy the motivation of the characters. That was my only problem with the movie in the first 30 minutes, where Josh O'Connor shows the scene to Jane. That's her name, Jane, Eve Houston's character. He shows it, and it's like the alien crying, and like Colin Firth's character like has no remorse about it. And she's like clearly very viscerally emotional about it. That scene needs to be 10 times worse.
Okay.
That was like, I was like, oh, that needs to be like that. I need to really feel for that alien, and I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with the ending. Like the ending climax goes on for a long time, where they finally get into the newsroom and they're reporting on it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they are reporting on stuff that we already, as the audience, already know. So there's not some big twist. There's not some big specific climax, especially because the climax is just like a news thing that goes on for a long time. So I get that. I think they could have fixed that with when they bring the alien in. That was kind of supposed to be we're actually finally seeing one in person here for the first time.
That's friends with Coleman Domingo.
Right. And then we're going to translate, and we're going to have one more punch, and the punch is just listen. You know what I mean? So I can give you that. And if you're already kind of like meh on the movie up until that point, I feel like that really stabs itself in the foot there.
Yeah.
And makes people go down even further than I think the movie deserves a little bit. But one other negative I had was I do think this is a plot hole. Colin Firth's character is jumping. Is that what they called it?
Sure. Yeah.
Is jumping into Eve's mind.
Yeah.
Multiple times throughout the movie. And then there's a big thing where they finally get main character guy and they're looking for it, and he just handed it off to her out the window, and they know they've been together the whole time, and then they like spend so much time being like, where's the device? Why didn't he just jump into Eve again? Like,
well, I think they explain it with him getting sick every time he jumps.
yeah, but he's been doing it the whole movie.
I agree.
And like,
I think that the him getting sick every time is really lazy. Like, I think that's just lazy writing so that they can explain away that in an interview. You ask Steven Spielberg that, he's going to tell you what I just told you.
That's big enough where like it's the main way the villains are finding us. Every single time in the house, she's almost killing him in the car chase. They find him. They literally get him at the hotel 30 seconds before. The reason they find the hotel is because he just jumped, and then they know that she has to have it. Why? Like, it would have still been lazy, but you should have had a thing where it's like, okay, well, Eve clearly has it. You need to jump again. He's like, I can't.
Sure. Yeah.
You should have at least said that.
But like, even worse than that, like if we were going into that, there's plenty of problems in this movie. Like this, they have satellites in this movie because they use it to find the farmhouse, based on the descriptions that Eve's character gives. So they don't have drones. Like, everything is by car. They find them so fucking slowly in every single scene in the movie. This is an all-powerful world government that has access to alien technology, and they don't have a plane. They don't have a helicopter. We don't see a single one in the entire movie.
That doesn't bother me that much.
It didn't bother me too much, but if we're pointing out, like, yeah, like, it's just like...
Well, mine, I feel like, is like, they show that multiple times.
Sure. Yeah,
and again, the reason we found them at the hotel is because we just used this plot device. And now we can use this plot device to what they're trying to do is find this device. And the person who has the device is the person they've used this plot device on 3 times so far in this movie. To the point of like the MacGuffin not knowing what the power is for it or whatever. Sure. I thought that was just part of the mystery. I feel like Emily Blunt was able to use it a lot more than a normal person would be able to because she was imbued.
An alien, yeah.
She was imbued with whatever the alien
Yeah.
gave her. So her being able to make them disappear and do the lights thing.
Sure.
When she did the lights thing, I was like, what? A little bit. But the disappearing and the affecting people and being able to become, I also agree with you, her just becoming someone that I know doesn't mean I'm going to let you walk off the base.
Absolutely.
Especially when you turn into someone else like a second later. Like, how does that work? But the general premise of the MacGuffin being able to do a bunch of stuff, as long as it was Emily Blunt's character, didn't bother me as much.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I've got a problem. And you're going to like probably, I know you. You're going to yell at me for this. You're going to disagree with this hard. The crop circles that Josh O'Connor's character creates in Disclosure Day, it's nothing. It's nothing. And I love crop circles. I think that's a really cool thing with alien movies and alien concepts. Like, I think finding crop circles and being like, oh, that was a ship that landed here. Like, in alien lore, if aliens were real, whatever, I think that's really cool, really unique. I think that's really fun. So the IMAX poster is Josh O'Connor with the crop circles. It happens in every trailer. And we see it, and it's just on the phone when he realizes he's an alien, or he's been, like, imbued by the alien people. The crop circles just happen around him. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting that the crop circles aren't created by
The ship.
or the normal stuff in lore. I was like so excited to see that be explained. And that was like one of the things that really intrigued me and I really loved about the first half of this movie. I was like, this is Spielberg. Spielberg's going to explain this and it's going to be the coolest thing ever as to why the crop circles happened around him. And then it doesn't. It like has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's just a trailer poster moment.
Sure.
That's the only reason it's in the movie. And so that's something that pisses me off.
Yeah, when does it happen?
Happens when he's on the phone with Coleman Domingo, and Coleman Domingo's like, oh, you understand, Emily Blunt? There were always 2 of you.
And then it just happens?
Yeah, it just happens around him.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
And I'm like, that's only in there for the trailers and the posters, and that pisses me off because I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I also don't like that Coleman Domingo seems surprised that Josh O'Connor can understand Emily Blunt. But then later in the movie, it seems that that was the plan the whole time, and that Josh O'Connor was picked out specifically for that. So why would Coleman Domingo be surprised?
I'll have to think about that.
I thought Coleman Domingo's character and all the stuff with them building the house, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for this. This is so interesting. And then the resolution to everything, just I didn't buy at all.
No, I mean, I love again, it goes to Emily Blunt's acting when she sees the house. That scene was really, really great. I love her just being able to talk to everybody and say everyone's name. And then, yeah, the whole thing with the aliens is that they are able to treat empathy like a communication. It's part of their communication. It's how they communicate is straight up empathy, knowing each other's feelings. That's why she can do that with everybody. So creating the house to give her those feelings of being a child and to be able to remember why she saw the deer, what the aliens did and everything like that to kind of unlock what we needed to unlock. I thought that resolution was super unique, super interesting. Yeah, some of the things you mentioned, I think, bothered me a little bit, just not enough for me to like dislike it, but to drop it so many points because again, I just found everything so entertaining and so interesting. I think there were some plot holes or things that could have been explained, like the crops, like them not jumping into Eve again, like the MacGuffin.
Magic wand.
Why did the guy disappear? Why did the guy, you know?
That's to show like it'll do anything.
Yeah, but like
when he took it and then he disappeared, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I wanted stuff like that. But then he reappears and the wand falls to the ground with no repercussions. And that's like a main thing in that
well, he was
first
still alive?
scene. Yeah, he was still alive.
Yeah.
That's a main thing in that first scene. They're like, you can't shoot him if he falls to the ground. It could kill us all. That falls to, it drops. It goes boom.
Yeah.
And are all 3 of them the same? Do they all do the same thing? That was unclear to me. Like, is one of them for this thing, is one of them for this thing, is one of them for this thing.
I don't.
That
think
I felt was
matters.
implied, but then I felt at the ending it wasn't that. It was.
I don't think so.
Confusing.
I think you've made, maybe I'll be a lower 8. Maybe you've made some good points. But I think the Wyatt Emily stuff, the alien mystery, the set pieces and the action pieces of how, it's a little bit repeatable of like, oh, we're on the run, oh, they find us, oh, we're on the run, they find us. But I think each time they did it, they did something more interesting.
Yeah.
Like the train thing. What an awesome, just interesting way to do a chase scene and have it end like that. Very high tension, and then
So fun.
and then the panic attack after, and then the next one being the make everything disappear, like it's melting, like we gotta go, and then the way that's shot, where they're floating, and they from you see it from our perspective, then you see it from their perspective. What an entertaining, unique scene to me. And then like the fire trucks are leaving, and you see the water splashing, but you don't see the actual truck. I just felt like each time there was something that was like either it's good acting, or it's a very unique like action piece, or I'm interested in the mystery, or I love the resolutions, even if like some of the stuff they didn't explain well, or the climax wasn't as good as it should have been. I do agree with the very ending scene where it was just like, okay, yeah, and if you're already lower on it, then yeah.
Yeah. There's Disclosure Day. I think we handled that like adults, and I'm proud of us.
But that's not what makes us money.
You're right.
That's not our show, dude.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
For thinking that a movie by Steven Spielberg has any redeeming qualities.
I'm so sorry, dude. And you're an idiot for not liking it enough.
Uh-huh.
And that's the show.
That's the
there
show.
You go.
Come
and
on,
that's
man.
why we work.
All right, Toy Story.